We're on.
Are we on? You didn't count us into the sync. I was waiting for the sync countdown.
Oh, wait for the sync count. Oh, shite. Okay. We're... Fuck it, we're doing it live. Alright. Alright, five,
Five,
four, three, two,
two,
1.
1. Okay.
Yeah.
All part of the fun, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of ladies and gentlemen, you owe Casanova a chicken, for this is a Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
Yeah, chickens. So many chickens.
So many chickens.
Chickens and fish. Would you prefer the chicken or the fish?
Yes. Would you cue the music?
Alright.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Look, we're gonna have company!
Loud noises!
Hello.
I'm Kendall Richardson.
And I'm a 1 year older Michael Lester.
Yes.
Hey.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it for the mediums of everything, of the streams, of the Facebook, the Twitch, and the YouTube. And I am halfway to 70.
Yes, we are now living in the brief timeline where Michael and I are the same age.
Yes.
Yay.
We're too old to die young.
Too old. From a certain point of view.
A certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. How was your birthday, Mike? Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was fine. Just spending time with family. And that's it.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not a big party goer, so
Yeah.
But friend of the podcast, Phil, has got a birthday, so I'll just celebrate it then.
Yeah.
I'll just
That works.
I'll just say it's
hijack his.
yeah. This day is all
Yeah.
about me.
All about him and you and him. Exactly.
Me and you and me, both of us together.
Both of us together. Yes. It's a good time. Good time. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you had a good birthday. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Things we don't like to hear, however, is the fact that
what?
Fulia is not on the podcast this week.
No.
As you can see, she's not with us.
See and hear.
This week. See and hear, correct.
All the senses.
All the senses. All of them all at once. Yes, so unfortunately, yeah, she could not be with us this week. She sends her love and has left us a lovely paragraph for me to read out for her weekly watching. So let's dive in. Starting with Julia, of course. Hello, friends. Calling in from Ice HQ right now, where she plays hockey.
ISIS.
Just had...
Whoops. Ice, baby.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
Under
Just
pressure.
had my just had my hockey game. So my watching for this week, I managed to go to the cinema for the first time this year with Kendall, aka myself, and we watched Argyle together. Yes. Guile. I will save my thoughts for when I get a turn. But Folia says about it, good popcorn fun, so leave your critical brains at the door when you watch this and just enjoy the action and espionage.
So it's shit.
Nice. Let's put a pin in it. Okay? Let's put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. I also continued my watch through of Star Wars Rebels, and I started a new series. Thanks to you two and Trailer Park, I started watching Death and Other Details. I love it already, and it's only halfway through the first season. Good pacing, great characters, and some excellent narrating by the detective himself. Definitely worth checking out if you enjoy murder mysteries. Nice. I knew you'd love it, Fulia. I knew it. Saw that trailer. I'm like, nah, this is a Fulia joint. She's going to enjoy this. And I'm glad I was right. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, Fulia, for giving us your weekly watchings. We appreciate you still being here, even though you're not here. And hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be back for more fun times. Okay. Michael, it's your turn. What
Yes.
have you been watching this week?
Well, I finished the second season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated
Nice.
version, and me
Yes.
and my insane 1.5 speed. It's how my brain works.
It's fine.
I need constant stimulation.
Yes.
Endorphins. Oh, what's the other one? That one.
Serotonin? I don't know.
Serotonin, yeah.
Yeah.
That one. The other ones.
That one.
That one. And yeah, I've seen it before. It's really great. It's weird, expected of everything going very fast. And I'll watch the last season next week, just in time for the Netflix live action version, which all accounts people are sort of a bit worried.
Too worried.
A bit worried.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. I mean, it is a live action Netflix adaptation. The memes are there for a reason.
Indeed.
It can't be all One Piece, but who knows? Who knows? And I'll pass
see.
my judgment when it does come out. Yeah. Having said that, there's not really much I have seen because it was my birthday and a spring chicken of a 35. I finally got myself my PS4 and I've started to play Last of Us, the first one, so I can get my hand into start playing, get my reflexology of the PlayStation, because it's all Twitch to me. Like I'm so used to the Twitch, so I'm slowly integrating myself into that with Last of Us Part 1 and also Lego Dimensions, which is so much fun because I can play it while looking after the kids as well. It's like, yay! And my daughter has got something to do by placing the little Lego pieces on the board where it's supposed to be. So it's like, go do that, do it. It's like, sweet. And I've forgotten how this game is actually the best Doctor Who video game ever, and it's in a Lego game. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Couple of bats from the ball of a Doctor Who video game, and this comes out on top because you get to play as all you can tell the developers for the Doctor Who side of it are big, deep fans because there's a lot of deep cuts in this. It is so deep that even a casual observer like you, Kendall, are going, "What's that? I don't get it." It's like, come on. They're dealing with Zygons and stuff.
Yeah.
So much stuff. Yeah. And I will mention I've bit the bullet with the Last of Us Part 1. I got up to Bill, the Bill side, and I thought, you know what, I'm in the game he survives. Spoilers. But no, but we haven't seen Frank yet. Well, his feet. So yeah, I've sort of stopped, and I thought, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to play Last of Us Part 2 because that's pretty much the sole reason why I got my PS4 is to play that game. And yeah, I got up to the bit where I am assuming it's going to be the first episode ender. because it's
Yeah,
only
probably.
because it's only like 2 hours in the game. I've only played for two and a bit hours of trying to find stuff. It's like it's that quick. Okay, yeah, that's the first episode.
Yeah.
That is the first
Yeah.
episode, and I'm gonna be
I agree.
I'm probably gonna be playing it like that. And it's like, yeah, this is where the next episode's gonna be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Kendall knows what bit I'm up to, and also that's the bit where you're up to too. So
It is.
I'm
I
in
don't know
the
anything past
weeds. I'm in the weeds now. I'm going to be coming back next week. It's like, Kendall, I'm sad. I'm so sad,
that. I'm so sad.
but I can't tell you. I can't tell you why. Yeah. Well,
One day you can.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
When you get back to the, but probably later on down the track. I mean, the second season of Last of Us is coming out next year, so you got a year and a bit to.
That's some time.
Yeah, and looks like the run is like a 16-hour game, so I've got plenty of time to get that done as well. Plenty of stuff to find, and I've already cheated. There was a safe, and I thought, I knew I needed to go into that area to, and then there's possibly the code there, but I thought, stuff it. I need the code, and I'm not really challenging myself. I'm doing it very easy because I just want the story. I just want the story. I don't want the gameplay.
Yeah,
I want the story.
That's why I watch the cinematics. That's why I just watch the cutscenes on YouTube, and you get the story, and maybe one day I'll play the game. Who knows? But
I just want to be immersed, and when what happens to a certain character, it's like I can feel everything. Why does this controller vibrate? I don't want it. No.
Yeah. No, that's not a good time.
I dropped my controller. It's like, no.
Yeah. No.
I'm all about the immersion, but not right now.
No, not right now. I don't want to be immersed in this.
4. So that's what I've been doing. And
Right.
everything. What about you, Kendall?
What about me? Well, yes, I've been very busy with my watchings this week. I've been to the movies. Not a record-breaking 3 times in a week, but I went 3 times this week.
On par.
On par.
Yeah, if we're talking golf terms.
Yes, we'll keep the golf chatter going.
Yeah. I'll be sad by it.
Yes. But no, start of the week with Fulia, as she did mention. We went and saw Argyle. I hadn't read any reviews, but I'd seen a little bit of the chatter and a little bit of the scores for the film, and how it was a bit underwhelming and didn't meet the expectations that it had. And I would agree with that. It's not a great movie, but it's not a terrible movie. It's just, it's maybe slightly above mid, I would say, if you wanna rate it on some kind of scale. But it's fun.
There's an exhale before the mid.
Yeah. It's mid. No, but I did have fun watching it. I enjoyed it. Like I've been a fan of Matthew Vaughn's movies for a long time, and he's a very talented filmmaker. And
Twisted
Mind
this one. Of Matthew Vaughn.
This movie really kind of way I've been describing it to certain people is I've just said it's kind of like Kingsman, but the family version. Like you could take your your teenage prepubescent kids to see this and they would be fine. Like there's only a little bit of language, not really much at all. The violence is not bloody or anything that a 13-year-old couldn't handle, I would say. And yeah, no, and it's fine. Like the cast is great. Sam Rockwell's having the time of his damn life, which I'm here for. He gets to dance multiple times, and I'm always happy to see Sam Rockwell dancing. And yeah, him and Bryce Dallas Howard pair well together. She was very good. Yeah, no, the plot was just a little convoluted because it wasn't. It was one movie and then it was suddenly another movie, and I'm like, yeah, I get it's a spy. It's a spy movie, so that's to be expected. There's twists upon twists going on, and I love a good twist. I love writing them. I love watching them. But for me, it was just like, okay, this means this, right? So this didn't need to happen, or did it need to happen? Like, I was sitting there just analyzing the thing a bit too much. So maybe that's on me. I don't know. Maybe, like Fulia said, leave your critical brain at the door, and just go in and enjoy it. I would agree with that sentiment. Yeah, just switch off, let it happen to you, and be, spellbound by the visuals, and the great performances. So yeah, so Argyle was okay. It's not what I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Yeah, and then I also watched on Netflix. I saw Naiad, which is a movie based on true story of the long distance swimmer Diana Naiad, American woman, who just over 10 years ago, spoilers for the movie,
That's history, so you should know.
It's history, so yeah. She completed a swim from Cuba to the Florida Keys, which was she was the first person in history to ever do it, and it's the longest, like, open, unassisted swim, like, ever. So yeah, it was insane. Like over 100. I can't remember if it was over 100 miles or 100 hours, but it was insane the amount of swimming she did. Yeah, because she tried in the 70s when she was in her 20s and it didn't work out, and then she didn't give up per se, but she changed course in her career and became like a sports journalist and all of that. And then she's in her early 60s. She turned 60 and she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to do Cuba to Florida. We're going to make this happen. So, and she's portrayed by Annette Bening in the role, who's nominated for an Oscar, alongside Jodie Foster, who plays her best friend Bonnie, who becomes her swimming coach in this. Jodie Foster also up for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, so that's the main reason I watched it, because I'm like, well, it's award season and I've got to tick this one off the list. And yeah, it was a really, really good movie. Like, their performances are worthy of the nominations, and it's just kind of a nice, feel-good story. Like, Reese Ifans is in it as well. He plays the navigator, and he's kind of like one of those, like, sort of like jaded, like My Way or the Highway sort of old sailors. But he does it really, really well. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really, really nice. It brought me to tears at the end, because there's, like, the way they do the moment of, like, her succeeding in the swim. When that kind of came together, I had a moment of, like, oh my god, like, it happened. Like, I was so, the movie pulled me in, and I was like, yes, I'm there with them. So that was nice. And yeah, and then to finish off my weekly watchings, I will mention that I watched 2 Australian movies. Well, because one just came out in the cinemas, so I watched The Dry.
Hey!
Yeah, and I watched Force of Nature, the sequel. So, yeah, I really liked The Dry. I thought it was really, really good. Very well-made Australian film. And Eric Bana's just really, really cool as this, like, detective who's just, been through some shit, but he's, I don't know, he just has this kind of charm about him at the same time, sort of thing. Like, he's just a really good protagonist. And you don't freaking know, I didn't know this, but so Genevieve O'Reilly's in The Dry. So Mon Mothma, right? I did not know she was technically Australian. She grew up in Australia.
Oh.
I had no idea. Yeah, she was born in Ireland, and then when she was a kid, her family moved out here. She grew up here. She went to NIDA, did that whole kit and caboodle.
Oh, I thought you knew.
I didn't know. I didn't know she was an Aussie. Yeah. Anyway,
That's the only trivia that I knew from her. That and
the
she
day
was.
I learned.
Yeah, the day I learned she was Australian.
She was Australian. Man, she was on freaking All Saints too back in the day.
Oh, Blast from the
Over
Past.
me. Blast from the past.
Yeah.
But
more,
anyway,
more of a Blue Heelers fan.
Yeah, no, I liked both, but if I had to choose, I'd go Blue Heelers. Anyway, let's not get into that debate. Yes, but no, but it was a very good movie. It was a really good slow burn murder mystery, and like combined like the present day story with the story of his past and what happened to him when he was a teenager and all of this. It's very, very well done. I really recommend it. And then I saw Force of Nature in the cinema yesterday because one of my friends actually worked on the movie because it was obviously filmed here in Victoria, it was really good. Like it's very different to the first film, obviously, because it's different setting. It's set in the Dandenong Ranges, so you're surrounded by rainforests and mountains and lots of rain. So I said to my friend when we were sitting down yesterday, I'm like, was there any conversation about maybe calling it the wet? Because I feel like you got the dry and now you've got the wet. And she was like, oh no, that did come up as like jokes. Like, yeah, of course. Force of Nature is a good title.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was different because it's a sequel, but it's not a sequel because it's very much a standalone story. But it sort of has the same premise of like relating back to his childhood, like
Yeah.
So it has the present day and the past kind of colliding. And yeah, it's good. Like, huh?
Yeah, so kind of like an Australian Agatha Christie, like not necessarily joined, but the case is different.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely had that kind of like this is the Aussie Poirot sort of thing.
Miss Marple.
There's a Miss Marple. All right, we'll give it to Miss Marple. Yeah, because it's a third book, and I guess if this movie does well, they'll probably make that as well. But no, this was good. Deborah Lee Furness was in it, Richard Roxburgh, Anna Torv. Yeah, it was a really good cast and mostly female cast, which was nice. Jacqueline McKenzie played Eric Banner's I'm not going to say assistant detective, but she was his partner, I guess that's what you would say. She was pretty cool too.
Watson.
So yeah, Watson to be Sherlock, not really. But yeah, it was good, and I always get a kick out of sometimes getting the chance to see like local locations on the big screen. Like there's some really cool shots of Melbourne. Like the cityscape at night that are in the movie at the beginning, and I was like, "Ooh, it's pretty."
I live there.
I live there.
I know that place.
It's cool. I know that place. But anyway, recommend Force of Nature definitely. Another great performance from Eric Banner. So I hope they make the third one.
I've been meaning to watch that because I did. I did watch The Dry in the cinema, and I thought it was phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. You like The Dry, you like this as well.
Yeah. I saw speaking of Australian films, I went to JB like not too long this week actually, because
Nice.
I don't have a copy of Wizard of Oz, and in the Lego Dimension game, they actually go into the Wizard of Oz universe. I thought, and my eldest is going, I've never seen this before. I was like, oh, you've never seen it? Okay. Where is it? Because I'm not getting on the streaming. I'm getting physical media. So I got it on physical media, and it came with buy two for $20. It's like, can't pass that up because it's JB. And so I went to find another thing. Couldn't really find it because the deal was actually over. But they said, yeah, we'll put it in anyway.
I was gonna say because like that sale ended the week before.
Yeah.
So they must have left the sticker on, and they've left. That's hilarious.
I did find it funny because I found it in the aisle, and I was trying to find anything else in the aisle. But it wasn't. It was at the like the what do you call it? The sort of, hey, you might like this before you actually buy the actual thing. That sort of little turny aisle thing. Before you get to the checkout, it's like enticing.
Yes, I know.
It's like those chocolate bars at the supermarkets.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, you need a chocolate bar. Go get a chocolate bar so we can squeeze another $5 from you. Yeah, so I bought that one as well as a Blu-ray version of The Castle.
Hey.
And I thought, this would be interesting because how can you upscale something that was filmed on VHS? And yeah, so I watched that and I thought, I like it. I like the sort of upscale to it. So I bought The Castle. I do have it on DVD, but I got it on Blu-ray now. I'm going up in the world.
Going up in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And the kids
Right.
sort of enjoyed Wizard of Oz. Bit scary, but it's Wizard of Oz. And it got a bit, and it was a bit boring at the start because everything was black and white. Well, sepia tone. It was brown and white.
Yeah, very sepia.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
Got to
Showed
mention
them the
that.
classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The filmonic canon, because there's like a literary canon, Charles Dickens and all that, but this is the filmonic canon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Alrighty, that's the weekly watchings, everybody. Now that is the time to then get into the week that was in the nerdy news.
This is the news in nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with most S, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Yes, nerdy news time, and starting things off with some Disney news this week. Disney, out of nowhere, announced that we're getting Moana 2 in November. Yeah, I think this was a sequel that was already happening, but now this is like sort of the official let's go get the hype train started sort of thing.
Originally, it was like going to be a sequel series on Disney Plus, but because of the writer strike and the actor strike, everything is sort of pushed back, and it's like, oh shit, we need something. What? Okay, we'll make this into a movie. So originally it was a TV show. Now it's a movie.
Right. Okay. Very, very cool. Thanks for that backstory, Mike. I didn't know that. Yeah, so it's coming out. They put out a little announcement teaser that doesn't really show much, of course, but because it was only like 20 seconds long or something.
Yeah, Moana with a conch.
Yes, and then of course there's a really beautiful image that they unveiled that sees Moana, and what's his bloody name, Maui. On a boat, and there's a gorgeous whale, like just whale shark floating underneath the water there, and it's just the colors are really, really great and beautiful, and yeah, it's a lovely first look at the movie. So it's going to be coming out on the 27th of November this year. I still haven't seen the first one.
Ooh, nah, that's all right. It's a good one.
Yeah, which came out a long time. Yeah, I heard it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will eventually get around to it. You know me with Disney animations. I'm sometimes a bit slow on the uptake, but that's fine. I'm happy for the people that I know will be very happy about this one. Because, Moana was very popular when it came out too. So, it's exciting. Michael, are you looking forward to this at all?
Yeah, I'm excited to this. My little girl, who's essentially got most of the Barbie princesses like this year, and it's like I need them all so they can live in the Barbie dream house. And it's like okay. So she's got a Moana, and she definitely enjoys that movie because it's a bit of fun and it's Lin-Manuel Miranda music, so catchy and at the moment and not as annoying as it is now. I still haven't seen Wish. I don't know if I want to watch it. Anyway, so we're getting a sequel to the animation as well as a live action version of the first one. Because that's still in the works. With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson reprising his role as Maui.
Because, of course.
Yeah, of course. Whatever. I'm not watching
it. No. Yeah. I've stopped. Stopped that shit. Okay, speaking of things that have been stopped, pretty much confirmed this week, unfortunately, that Coyote vs. Acme will not be seeing the light of day after all. After, in November, Zaslav and Warner Brothers decided to pull the plug on the film, even though it was completed and ready to go. Apparently they've, been trying to sell it off to, other distributors like Netflix and, Sony, Paramount, whatever, just to get it out in the world. Amazon Prime even, I think, as well. But they weren't asking enough money.
No.
No. They were. It seems that they were asking probably about half what Warner Brothers wanted, which was about 70-80 million. So because of that, it looks like they're going to be, and I've seen the phrase delete the movie, erase the movie, because obviously it's all digital. So, and they'll be able to claim their tax write-off on it. This makes me really sad because it sounded like it would have been a really, really cool movie. Like we've talked about this on the podcast, numerous times. It had a lot of potential to be a great one, I think, and it's just such a shame that Warner Brothers have decided to do this. I don't understand it fully, why they don't think it would make them the money, make them back the money that they spent making it. It feels bizarre to me. And then I read also apparently Zaslav and other Warner Brothers executives haven't actually watched it. So that's kind of fucking ridiculous. Anyway. RIP to that movie that should have been. It's very sad. Mike, I know this is probably upsetting for you as well. How are you feeling?
I'm annoyed, pissed off, all of the above. There was a glimmer of light, but, executives are going to exact their power over... You know what? Yeah. The difference between executives and creatives is like, we don't need to see it. It's like, well, whatever. You got paid, whatever. But I hate this industry sometimes. Let's go for a boycott. Let's not watch Dune 2.
Oh, don't.
I'm not watching Dune 2. They're not taking
You're
my
watching
money.
Dune.
No, I'm not. Well, I'll watch it. But in my own means.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can get behind that. I'm planning on going to IMAX though and seeing it. So sorry.
Diddle-a-doo-diddle-a-doo.
I'm supporting. I am supporting the people who made the movie.
Roll the colors high, heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. I don't know why I started singing that.
I know, but it was great.
It's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know.
Pirates.
Interesting. Pirates.
Yarg.
Let's move on into our next item of news. Something that I'm sure will have nothing to do with piracy as far as you're concerned.
What are you talking about piracy? Don't put words in my mouth, thank you. Thank you very much.
Uh, um, this next bit is a bit happier. There's gonna be another Evil Dead movie, another spin-off, which is very exciting. I still haven't seen Evil Dead Rise yet, but I really want to watch it. I need to just sit down and just do it, because I
Do it
think
in the
it's on
dark.
Netflix or. So yeah, oh yeah, all the lights are off, baby. I'm inside that movie. Get inside it. Yes, so this is going to be directed by Sebastian Vanacek, who directed a French horror film called Infested last year. That was apparently quite good, so he's been tapped to direct the new Evil Dead film, which is really really cool. We don't know what it's going to be about yet. If they're gonna, stay in the city like Evil Dead Rise did, which was the first movie ever to be set outside of a cabin, really.
Wow.
With the exception of Army of Darkness, I guess, because
In a castle.
it's a bit different. Yeah. But yes, yeah, maybe they'll return back to the cabin. Who knows? I would like to see. I mean, I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, so I can't say. But I really do. Like, I'm a fan of the 2013 version of Evil Dead, like the remake, the reimagining. I thought that was really great. So I wouldn't mind a return to that. So I don't know if Evil Dead Rise connects to that at all, but um, maybe it does. Um, if I watched it, I'd know.
Yeah, you know.
Um, but yeah, I'm a fan of the series, fan of this franchise. So yeah, really cool to see that they're continuing on with this. So let's hope it's good. Uh, Mike, how are you feeling about this news as a Evil Dead fan?
I love myself as some Evil Dead, especially
Yeah.
Evil Dead versus Ash, Ash versus Evil Dead. I'm very looking forward to this because the way things like when the press tour was for Evil Dead Rise, they were talking about because Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are still executive producers, so they still have the reins for it because it's them and it's awesome. They wanted to do because it was so successful and it was very different from like Cabin in the Wood, Ash versus Evil Dead. Like there's no one called Ash in this. Spoiler, but there's no real connectivity to it except for the Deadites as well as the Book of the Dead, and which maybe there's a law in there that there's actually 3 books or something like that. Like it's sort of speculative for the fans because not all the books look the same. I mean, the books in the Ash canon are different from the remake, which is sort of in a different universe. They like a lot of theories, of film theories. They're saying that that's a different dimension, and this Dead Rises is also another dimension because the Book of the Dead is it has a different look of the Book of the Dead. So and they were talking about what's really great is the concept. You can actually put this concept in any scenario. Like we've sort of already done a Cabin in the Wood sort of scenario, and this one's in a high rise, and where this one can be somewhere else. It can be like I don't know. Let's do Dawn of the Dead. Let's do it's all in a shopping mall sort of area, and we can do something like that. I mean, and I think that's really cool. Like the concepts are the same, but it's in a different area. With sort of loose ties, and then you can have like all the fun that you can have, and that's what Evil Dead Rises sort of has. There's like different gags, like different deaths, different torturing people, and it's eerie and blah, and it's cool. It's cool, but I'm a freak, but I like my freaky stuff.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's also great that they said that they don't want to give it to like a big name director, so you can actually have your start and and like the director that we spouted off, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but he did his like first film in France, so it could be like a jumping off point as well. It's a bit like Trauma, where James Gunn sort of had his sort of he dabbled with this sort of filmmaking there, and that catapulted him into, you know, like different areas, like doing the remake of Dawn of the Dead and the Scooby-Doo movie, and doing his own stuff as well. So, and that's pretty cool. Like, get a leg up for an established franchise that people love. And Sam Raimi, you know, he came from humble beginnings. Like, I want to say he did the first Evil Dead when he was 22. Like, he was really young. Or probably not even that. I think he was 19. My trivia is like bad for me. So he's like really young. He was like
young as hell.
He was young as hell, and he had like inspiration like up the wazoo, and and that just made him a big name. Like after that, and he delved into different things, and he did Spider-Man, for Christ's sake. And
yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he attempted a Doctor Strange movie.
And and to, you know, mixed results, but it's
I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah, I still love that movie.
I don't
really.
blame. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't look in hindsight. Not to get into a tangent on Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, but in hindsight, I don't blame Sam Raimi for any of the film's faults. It was definitely the higher ups that had the problems with problems with the discussions that should have been had between the writers of a certain TV show and this certain film that weren't had.
The connectivity to the universe.
Connectivity didn't connect. But anyway,
who needs that to make a good film?
Yeah.
You think Evil Dead follow its own canon?
Yeah, but that's different.
I know. But this is my Marvel.
This is my Marvel.
Don't mess with my Marvel.
No.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this and can't wait to watch it. And
Good.
No, I won't spoil it because I didn't spoil it until where Evil Dead Rises was filmed. So because I didn't notice, really. So it's good to go in not noticing until you watch it again. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, I will endeavor to watch Evil Dead Rise sometime in the next couple of weeks. Then.
Let's do our own version of Freaky Friday.
a few Fridays, yeah.
The Evil Dead Mondays. Dead Mondays.
Evil Dead Mondays. Love it. Very good. All right, let's move on to our next item in news, and that is some Game of Thrones news. It turns out they're going to be making another spin-off. Another spin-off. So this one is going to be following the story of Aegon the First, so Aegon the Conqueror. Basically the beginning of the reign of House Targaryen started with him when he conquered 6 of the 7 kingdoms. And he was the one that actually wrought the Iron Throne. So, so this is the beginning. We're going to go back even more. He's also the one that's mentioned in House of Dragon as having the visions of the future with the White Walkers and everything, seeing the Song of Ice and Fire, that whole thing. So, yeah, there's going to be a show about it now. I'm okay about this, fine, sure. I don't know why we need another Targaryen show when we've already got one. I don't see the point in it. I mean, I feel like they probably could do this as a movie and it would be really cool, or maybe as a mini series. Maybe if it's not like a, seasons long thing. That would be swell. But I knowing Warner Brothers and HBO. I know, obviously, they're going to milk this for all it's worth, considering this is the third spin-off now, I think this will be, not including the one that was cancelled. But yes. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be written by, what's his name? I had it here. Mattson Tomlin, who worked with Matt Reeves on The Batman, and the upcoming sequel to The Batman. So, dude has some cred when it comes to his writing chops, so I'm okay with that. And yeah, I'll whether or not we need another Targaryen story is besides the point, because I will probably still watch this. Because it will be cool to see. But it would just be nice if we could, focus on some of the other houses, like, if we could. Unless there's just no history there that's interesting enough. Or,
I don't think so. I truly think that it's just Targaryens until Game of Thrones, like era.
Yeah. Okay.
Of it. So.
Yeah. Sure.
Where everything.
So there's
shit.
So there's just nothing. There's just nothing else to really focus on apart from the Targaryens.
Yeah, it was a Targaryen until Mad King, and then and then
he was killed.
Overthrown, and then Brandon. Until
now we have
Brandon.
Now we have Brandon Stark.
Brandon the Broken. Until it went from a monarchy to a parliamentary.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, what do you reckon of this, Mike? Do you have any thoughts? Do we need this? Do you want this? Are you gonna watch it?
No doubt. I'm gonna watch it because for a person that hasn't read a single word of Ice and Fire or any of them, and yeah, including the one that's not come out yet, ever. It will never come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch it, and yeah. And if it's a king that has visions of the future, no doubt there's going to be cameos.
Very true.
Yeah, we're going to have you know nothing, Jon Snow. And,
you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, so that would be cool. And then the future, and then you have Brandon like when he's like in his 40s. It's like, I am future king. It's like, what? You're in a wheelchair. And so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not really much to go on. So, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead. I might pirate it as well. What did I say? No, I mean, I'll look at it. Maybe. I don't know.
Somehow it might just be on your TV and you can't explain how it got there.
Yeah, I'll go to EB. Go to EB, JB. Too many JB ABs. You know, JB's is the only place you can get DVDs.
Yeah.
In Bendigo.
Yeah. Unless you go to like an op shop or cash converter.
Oh yeah, I go there. Obviously, I go there. I mean, I picked up a movie that I didn't want to talk about because it was absolutely terrible. It's called Loose Cannons, and I was enticed because it had Gene Hackman, Dan Aykroyd, and Don DeLuise.
Wow, that's a great cast.
It was a great cast. Fucking terrible movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I only paid $2 for it, so I'm happy.
Fine.
In a way. And I'm keeping it forever, so it's like stay for future generations, because I'm going to be that guy collecting. in case Last of Us starts happening, and it's like, I'm going to be like Bill. It's like, this is my DVD and Blu-ray, because physical media is forever.
Forever and ever.
Ever and ever. Play with us, Danny.
All right. We got one more thing to talk about. And I ummed and ahed about including this in the podcast.
Yeah,
but
that's way. I mean, I know the story
don't-
behind it.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. This week, Gina Carano, who
Who dat?
played Cara Dune, who dat? Played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. She was let go after, some, unfortunate tweets and posts to social media.
Compared herself
happening.
to occupied Nazi Germany to what's happening to her.
Yep. Yeah, she made some very bad choices in terms of her, public speaking. But yeah, Disney decided to part ways with her, which is, I suppose fair enough. But of course, she is not happy about that, and she's suing Disney and Lucasfilm for wrongful termination and loss of finances and all that caboodle.
What now?
Yeah, now I know it's been like 2 years at least, 2-3 years since she was sacked. So, but no, she's finally now just doing the thing. So yeah, the interesting thing about it is that Elon Musk is funding this, and at first I was like,
elongated muskrat.
elongated muskrat. Yeah, at first I was like, why is he funding this? But then apparently it's a part of this thing where, because he owns Twitter now, anyone that suffers from using his platform or something to that, I'm paraphrasing really poorly, but basically because it relates to him, he's like, yeah, I will support you in your fight for free speech, basically. Because you were on my platform, even though he didn't own it at the time that she made all these posts. But anyway.
Dubious at best, yes.
Dubious at best. So, yeah. So on one hand, I can see why Gina would be pissed because she there obviously free speech is a thing. You're allowed to express your opinion. It doesn't mean we need to hear what you have to say, especially if it's shit like what she was saying. But she's like, I lost my job because I spoke my mind and how I feel and all that. Fair enough. That's shit. But counterpoint, not only what was she saying was terrible and wrong, and she should not have said any of it. But I will point out that one of the things that as part of my job, I can't be online, saying shit similar to what she's saying or like speaking bad about the place that I work or anything like that, or the industry I work in, sort of thing, or there will be repercussions.
Breach of contract.
So, yeah. So, like, she's not going to win this lawsuit for one, because, there's no fucking way. Like, she's representing, you're part of the Star Wars community. Not only are you part of the Star Wars community, you're part of Disney. And we all know what Disney represents in terms of, family-friendly content and, all of that stuff. They're getting better at being inclusive now, but, it's been a fight. But anyway, regardless, like, there's a certain image as a Disney, star that you have to project publicly. Like, you can fucking have a conversation with whoever behind closed doors. You do not need to get on your phone or your laptop and type the shit she was typing, and think that there's not going to be consequences. So, yeah, I don't know, it just kind of frustrates me that she's being a bit... Like, I get she's pissed, but, I don't know. It's going to get thrown out. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That's my TED Talk. How you... What do you think of this? Do you have anything to add to this?
Yes,
ridiculousness?
I do have plenty. They're putting it forward because they know they're not going to win. It's going to be thrown out. Even the form, the letter that they put forward is a complete joke, because they say far away in a distant galaxy, blah blah blah. It's which they said, imagine if blah blah, yeah, whatever. So what they're basically doing is they say, yes, we're going to sue Disney, and that's all they need for clicks and all that saying, hey, someone's suing Disney. Isn't that cool? And then the media cycle will say, oh, there's... So you need to be in that cycle just to keep yourself relevant. And at the moment, Gina is not relevant anymore because she thought maybe, I don't know her mind, but she thought maybe, well, I don't need Disney. I can go to a different outlet. I can go to the Daily Wire. They do movies. She's done those movies. Not much return with them because they are a very niche movie. No one's seen them. And they're only there for a certain member of like conservative isms and all that saying, we need to support this and because they speak my truth, but there's not really much of a audience there. And that's why Disney is like, we got to favor as many people as we can. And with that is a lot of progressive stuff, even though it's ham-fisted or whatever it is. It's seeing the dollar bills in like gay pride. It's only 1 month and then they change everything back to what it was. It's like, really? Okay, cool. That's a form of progressivism. It's not enough, but it's there, I guess. And yeah, so with her movies at the Daily Wire, they didn't really go well because you are going for a demographic who don't like strong female protagonists in lead roles. So no one's going to watch, even the hardcore conservatives that want everything, adjacent to what I look like, cisgendered white male. So she thought, place my bets. I'll do this now because I've got nothing else. And essentially her career's over and she doesn't really have much to do except for grifting. So that's it, basically.
Grifting.
So I'm not worried if she's going to make a dent in Disney. I mean, all accounts, I'm not favoring any side because, I don't really like any of them. But, and the thing with, Muskrat as well, doing this thing, even though he doesn't really have much to do with it. I don't know. He's probably doing it for the grift as well because Disney pulled out of advertising from Twitter. Oh dear, X, whatever. So he thought, I'll get my clicks. I'll get eyes on this. It's like, yeah, we're going after Disney because they wronged us because of free speech. It's like, you're boring. Get something new. You're boring.
Yeah.
Don't want to do no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not angry. I'm not triggered. You're just boring. Get me new material. That's the problem with conservatives. They do the same thing over and over and expect different results. And what's that again?
That's insanity.
Insanity. So that's so this is where politics and nerdiness collide. It's boring.
It's shit. It's all shit. Alright, that's enough about that. Let's be done with the nerdy news now, because it's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. We have
Boom.
Alrighty, it is trailer park time, and we've got a horror-filled edition of Trailer Park this week, which is
horrific.
Just lovely. It's quite horrific, yes. So we're going to kick things off with the first teaser trailer for A Quiet Place Day 1. I'm a big fan of this franchise. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely not perfect, of course, but it's really, really good. It's kind of like I guess you could call it maybe blockbuster horror in a way, because it just has that kind of feel of like it's not indie horror, it's very much big budget sort of horror now, especially with this trailer. They've poured a lot of
Yeah.
money into making this movie. So yeah, I don't believe John Krasinski's returning to direct this one. I think they've got a new director, Simon.
What?
What? But he's still like a producer, I think,
Yeah.
or has writing credit or whatever. Yeah, Michael Sarnowski is the director and one of the co-writers. Yeah, John Krasinski co-wrote it with him.
Sounds
So,
like a pseudonym
um,
for John Zelinsky, Michael
John
Gadinsky.
Krasinski, Michael. Nice. Yeah, and this is gonna be really, really cool. I love, for some reason, like movies are really good when they don't explain everything. Like how the first A Quiet Place film doesn't really tell you much about what happened and all of this stuff. So it just, takes you on this journey of this very specific point in time, and this is just the way the world is, and you have to accept it, right? The second movie, the opening scenes of the second film actually show you day one from the family's perspective. And so you see how, their little town descended into complete chaos when these aliens landed.
Yeah, it was in the
and
trailer
started
as well.
killing everyone. Yeah, so they so for day one now we're getting to see it on an even bigger scale because we're in a massive city this time, when all the aliens start coming down, and so instead of just dealing with a handful of these creatures, it's going to be like a full, as we see, a stampede of them. Um, oh, yeah, I can't wait to watch this. This is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be terrifying and exciting, and fascinating, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what new things this might, bring to the universe that is A Quiet Place, the lore. And the cast is fantastic as well. We've got Lupita Nyong'o in the lead. Big fan of hers. Jimon Honsu as well, and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things is in this. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I'm very keen, very very keen for this. What about you, Mike?
I've never seen any of them, which is
Oh, you should.
my fault. Yeah, I know. I should. And I should not start with this one. I should start with the first one because very understandable. It's very slow and it's like progressing and it's very minimalistic. Where this one is gangbusters, explosions, and everything is like bit of a whiplash. Yeah.
A little bit.
So yeah, I'll definitely be watching those movies first. I mean, I have no hesitancy. It's just, and I'll probably buy it on the Blu-ray, and then watch it. And I'll watch it in the dark, and I'll put headphones on. I know that bit. I need to put headphones on because it's a very silent film.
It is.
For the first one, yeah, and it looks very interesting. Yeah, spoiler alert, it's aliens that you don't get to know until the last bit of the first movie. So spoilers alert for me. Anyway, but all in all, it looks very enjoyable. Yeah, so this one looks if going into this blind and this is the only thing that I've seen, I thought, this is sort of run-of-the-mill, sort of, I'm thinking Spielberg's War of the Worlds, like that post September 11 sort of string of movies, like everything's destruction and it's like horror. It's like, yeah, I get it. We've had 20 years of it. Please stop. Yeah, so yeah, that's all really. Will I watch it?
Yeah, cool.
When will I watch it? Because I have to watch the other two.
Well, you can, if you like, watch A Quiet Place Day 1 on the 27th of June
So
in the cinema.
I got a couple of months until that.
Yes. You have a couple of months.
Or I
Yes.
just completely forget. And it comes out, I was like, ah, shit.
Ah, shit. I fucked it up again.
It's not Warner Brothers,
cool.
is it?
Oh, let's see here.
I don't think so. I think it's like...
I think it's Universal from
Yeah.
memory. That distribute this. But I'm curious now.
Oh,
No, Paramount. Paramount.
Paramount. Okay.
So it'll be on Paramount Plus eventually.
Streaming services. Die.
Die.
Can you do us a favor, Neil? What? Die. Young one. Next.
Nice. Next trailer. Okay. Not every day that I get to say that we're doing a trailer that I've already seen the movie for.
Yeah.
But this one, this is a trailer for Late Night with the Devil.
Late night with the devil.
I got to see this movie when it played here in Melbourne as part of the Melbourne International Film Festival.
Oh.
Back in August. And I went to, I'm pretty sure I went to the Forum and saw it. And it was my favorite venue in Melbourne, and it was so cool. So this movie is great. It's awesome, and this little teaser trailer does a really good job of selling it, I think, as someone who's seen the film. I think it sums it up perfectly, and gives you just enough of what to expect going in. It is a little, like, it's 90 minutes long, so it's short and sharp, gets to the point. It's paced well. It is sort of a slow burn, because things like everything, like, it kind of starts, it gives you context for the situation, and then it goes into you watching the broadcast of this late night talk show, and everything just kind of slowly starts to unravel and get worse and worse and worse, and then it builds, and the fucking climax on this thing is just, it was great. It was great. I loved it. I'm definitely gonna watch this again. I might go to the cinema again and see it when it comes out here, because my god. David Desmalchin does such a good job of playing the talk show host. He fits the role perfectly, and he's just great anyway. He never gives a bad performance, so he carries the film very well. So I don't really have much else to say about the trailer other than definitely go see the movie, and it's a lovely trailer that just shows you the right amount of weirdness and creepiness and scare factor that you're gonna get when you see it. So, what did you think of this, Mike?
It looked really cool. I'm a big horror buff, as we all know, and the aesthetic of them finding the elements of 70s sort of psychological horror sort of stuff, I'm all down for, and making it look like what it did without any I can sort of tell that it's filmed in the future, except for the Desmalchin, because he's now and not 70s. But it definitely gives me that feel of like those 70s films like Exorcist, and like Rosemary's Baby, this sort of 70s horror is basically demonic, evil devil sort of stuff. It way before the slasher, so it's all visually stimulating. It just has one frame of something, and it just stays in your mind for the rest of the scene. It's like, oh my god. I'm really, really looking forward to this, and I can't wait to watch it. Hopefully there's going to be a release on cinema, because I did see Shudder, and Shudder is a streaming service, which I don't mind, but they do do releases on DVD because I really want to get like
Yeah.
the Creep Show show on DVD. So
Nice.
when is
Well,
this going to possess us?
Late Night with the Devil will sink its claws into you on the 11th of April. I hope that's theatrical, but that's the Australian release date, so hopefully it's a theatrical one. We shall see.
We
Our last trailer now, our third and final horror trailer for this week, is brought to you by the team behind Megan, or Mithrigan, as I like to call it, and
or
Five
Megan
Nights at Freddy's.
if you're Australian.
Yes.
Oh, Megan.
Megan. This one is called Imaginary. And yeah, I might watch this. I wasn't sure at first because it seems like the poster and the lore that they're setting up around this film seems to really be speaking to this bear that's, might be possessed. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting Annabelle vibes here. But then as it goes in and it goes along, there's actually a lot more to it. There's more going on. There's more demons or ghosts or specters or ghouls or whatever tormenting people. So I think maybe it's just the premise might actually be about imaginary friends in general, being actual demons or whatever.
So it's like a scary If.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's coming out at the same time.
I know the timing of these movies is very interesting. Anyway, yeah. So there was a couple of moments in this trailer that I really liked that elicited good reactions out of me. Like some of it was hit or miss, but some of it was really good. Like there's a couple of good jump scares where someone moves out of the way and there's just this faceless black figure standing behind them, and I'm like, oh, that's great, yeah. And then at the end, I really liked how it didn't scare me because I was expecting something, obviously, but at the end, how you see the bear-shaped light about to light up the poster of the bear, and you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna come to life, and then you see the thing come to life in the shadows when the chick pulls off the nightlight or whatever, and then you're like, okay, as soon as it comes back on, that bear's gonna be right in her fucking face, and then she turns the light on. Oh no, it's this dead child right next to her face. I like it. I thought that was cool. Yeah. So this movie has some potential. Yeah, definitely has some potential. So I hope it's as good as the trailer looks, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mike, what did you think?
It definitely has a feel of familiarity because it has it sort of has, I don't know, that sort of trope that for some reason I was thinking, was this a video game before a movie? Because it definitely has that sort of vibe of what's real and what's not, and imaginary friends and all that. So yeah, it's just a scary baby toy, and with a weird name, and it looks like a weird looking Winnie the Pooh without being Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. There's not really much to talk about. I think it's a bit cheeky that they tend to say, "Hey, from these movies that did gangbusters, we've got this now." I'm not sure if I'll watch it because it feels like I've seen it before. But what I want to see is Talk to Me Part 2.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, because I watched the later half of The Actors last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they won best film.
Oh great, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and those guys are great. Just effing and blind, and they're so hyped. I thought, yeah, that's Australian right there. Yeah, and the commentary was is like, this is the second horror film, Australian horror film, to win best film. And I was like, I know what the other one is.
Wolf Creek? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit of fun. You know, I'm not a big fan of award shows, but I will take time to watch like the Actors and the Logies. Yeah, because you know
Aussies.
I'm Australian and I'm sort of in the industry. The only thing I've done was Dr. Blake, but we don't really talk about that anymore. No.
No.
Anyway.
No, we don't.
Nope,
Anyway.
nope. So when is this bear going to scare us, Kendall?
Well, Imaginary is gonna come to life. Haha. On the 7th of March, so very soon.
What do you mean come to life? It's always been alive.
It's always been alive.
It's an ancient deity.
It's an ancient.
If there's going to be like ancient rune tablets like in the basement, and it's like, oh, we got to destroy it, and then at the end, oh, it made it worse. Now it escapes.
You made it worse.
God damn it! And now I'm gonna pull your mum through this little knot hole. Through the door. Ending of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Clearly fake, mum. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway. Okay. So
Yes.
that's Trailer Park done. We're rolling on out.
Yeah, done.
Which means now
Ooh.
it's time
Yes.
for the moment,
Yeah.
the segment,
Do.
the section,
Do.
the pun,
The fishy people.
the place,
Yes.
the spot, the thing in the show.
That's not my choice. It's
Uh,
Amy's choice.
we like to call.
Talking who? Oi. Talking who? Pop culture.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Adjacent.
Yes, it's popcorn culture time, and we are in fact talking who.
Yeah.
This week, talking who. We're going to be covering our thoughts on Series 5, Episode 6 and 7, The Vampires of Venice and Amy's Choice. Yes, two very different episodes. I will say, with, you know, a sort of running theme between them, I guess. But yes, yeah, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
To Vampires of Venice. My overall thoughts on this one. Yeah, not too bad. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It was fine. I love vampires, so when I saw Doctor Who was doing a vampire episode, I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. I didn't love all the teeth. There's too many teeth going on.
Too many teeth.
Too many teeth. But it's fine, because, you know, as it turned out, they weren't actually vampires.
What were they, Kendall?
They were fish.
They were fucking fish.
They were fucking fish. Fish aliens, yes. Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of liked the story around them. Like, it did kind of ruin the whole... the vibe, like the idea of, like, you know, vampires in Venice at that time just seems really cool. But I suppose if they just kept it that, A, it wouldn't have been Doctor Who, and B, it would have been maybe a little basic. I don't know. So yeah, of course there was going to be like a twist of, you know, what they really were and whatnot, something sci-fi. in here. So that was really cool. And yeah, and it was good to see, Amy and Rory together with the Doctor on an adventure,
On a date.
on a date. I have a lot of things to get off my chest about them, about that. That we will get there in a second. But yeah, no, it was a well-rounded, episode overall, I thought, and shout out to the late Helen McCrory for being amazing in this. I really enjoyed her as the head
Fishwife.
head of the leader of the fishwife, who went by the name Rosanna Calvieri. She was very, very cool. So, Mike, what do you? Huh?
Rose Calamari.
Rose. Yeah, very true. Mike, what do you think of this episode? How does it hold up all these years later for you?
Well, I'm not that big of a fan of like vampire stuff, like pretty much at all. I mean, I enjoy the mythos of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, it's a very interesting tale. And what we do in the shadows is fucking phenomenal. Probably the only thing I like. This is an episode I don't really go back to thinking fondly of like the Matt Smith era, because it's sort of like I don't really care much for it, because it didn't really make sense to place this in Venice. And have it with vampires that weren't really vampires. I mean, I think it could have been better if they were vampires. I mean, Doctor Who has done vampires before, or vampire adjacent sort of stuff, like with all the aesthetic, like a castle and all that with but they were like aliens as well, and they preyed on human beings for their sustenance, blood, but they probably just rehashed the entire thing. So kudos for trying to make something original, but didn't really make sense, and I think it was just for. I don't want to say it's like oh, we need something. You know what? Grab the box that's got all these different ideas. Location Venice, fish, vampires. How are we gonna do that? Okay, stock, blick, blick, block, block. There we go, all done. So this is sort of a flash in the pan episode for me. But that's basically Doctor Who. You get your good ones and you get your bad ones. Definitely a whiplash in quality and quantity, unfortunately. Yeah, but these. So, well, where should we go from here? These.
Well. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Shall we do Rory and Amy and get over it and done with?
Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're the main bulk of the episode stuff that's probably worth talking about, I suppose, because there's not much really to unpack with the fish. So the Doctor shows up at Rory's bachelor party. He jumps out of the cake.
It reminds me, I do need to show you like a mini-sode that takes place in between the previous episode and this.
Oh, cool.
And it sort of would help the sort of mindset of where the Doctor decides to bring Rory and Amy to Venice, basically. Yeah.
Okay. That would be good.
But
Please show
it
me
doesn't
that. That'd be great.
excuse what the Doctor does right now.
No, I didn't really like. I didn't really like him interrupting the bachelor party, and B, just I know the Doctor's the Doctor, and he has no. Well, I'm sure he has some kind of concept of he shouldn't have said what he says.
Different generations do.
But, yeah.
This
but
one's different.
This one's different, and he very much puts his foot in his mouth and talks about how he made out with Amy at the dude's bachelor party. That I don't know is the night before the wedding. It might be the night before the wedding still, I think, maybe. I think it is. But anyway, yeah, that was a bit ugh.
It's probably that night.
And you probably, yeah.
So
Yeah,
he can't
probably
cross
was.
his time streams. So he decides, all right, well, at the moment, my past life is with Amy, and she's like asleep. So I need to go to where Rory is. Oh, he's having his bachelor night on the night of before the wedding. There you go.
Yeah, well, it's hangover style, I guess. They did the same
He's probably
thing.
not a big partier.
No. Well, yeah, considering it was just them.
He's a
them
good boy.
At a pub.
He's a good boy. He's a nice
good
boy.
He's a good boy, and he deserves better at this point. although I've been told things improve. So,
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So that's the first little bit. And then my main issue with this episode was really, I think Amy got off very lightly with what she did by, coming on to the Doctor and kissing him and all that shit. I think I don't think the show did a very good job in dealing with that. Like,
No.
in terms of letting Amy have this moment of, like, yeah, she comes to I don't know, I can't remember if it's by the end of this episode or the next episode, because I watched them back to back. So, but
Definitely at the end of the next episode.
So the end of the next episode, yeah, when she comes to the epiphany of, like, she loves him and wants to be with him and all that stuff. Yeah, hence Amy's choice. But no, she's just like, Rory keeps trying to have the conversation with the Doctor and trying to have the conversation with her, and it doesn't get resolved very well. And I don't know if that's just because, again, in the next episode, it very much is a bit more address, I suppose, but still not exactly address. Like, there's no, like, you cheated on me with this man. You kissed another man the night before our wedding. Like, that's not okay. Like, Rory didn't get, like, he wasn't validated in his pain and his hurt and his feelings. And Amy didn't suffer any consequences, really. Like, I didn't like that at all. I don't know, I just thought it was really shit. And I really want to like Amy, because I've heard, so many things over the years about Amy and Rory and this whole run of the Doctor being like, people talk it up so much. So I don't know, maybe if that's just getting in my head and I'm like, no, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Am I on the money with this, Mike? Was there a similar reaction at the time, or do you feel similarly to how I am about this whole thing?
Well, like you, like at this present time of the audience, it's like, okay, where's this going? It's sort of like couples counselling with the Doctor. It's like, okay, it's a new thing. He's doing something different between Rose and Mickey. So he definitely got in between, like, Rose and Mickey, and he didn't want to do that. So I can sort of see, like, with retrospect, like, people saying, oh, well, he's trying to make sure this couple comes together. Stay together, really, and not come together for the first time. It's weird. On their wedding night, before the wedding night. Anyway, yeah, so if we're going by that, the Doctor definitely came in between Mickey and Rose, and Rose did choose the Doctor, which,
Yeah, was shit.
was shit.
For Mickey.
Well, for Mickey. I mean, he sort of got Martha in the end, but really,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was more. That was kind of more like oh yeah, let's just pair him up.
Yeah,
Let's
they
just pair them up. They couldn't be with who they wanted to be. Oh, so they're perfect for each other.
It's like, there we go. It's like,
Yeah.
that's happy ending. There we go. Everyone's getting a happy ending, including Captain
Everyone gets a
Jack
happy ending.
with Alonso, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Alright.
thanks, Russell T. Thanks for putting a bow on that. Are you gonna do anything else with it? No. It's the end of my run, and I need to run. Anyway.
Yeah.
The most prolonged regeneration ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice that the Doctor doesn't want to come between these two people,
Yeah.
and he's trying so hard, but he's failing, and they have to come between. They have to find their own romantic isms, and Roy's coming across as, a bit of a bumbling idiot. I mean, we've seen that before with Mickey and that. So, still well-tread ground, and there is like little sparkles there, but I don't know. It's just, and with the audience is like, well, with me back then, it's like I don't want romanticism in Doctor Who, especially with the Doctor and the companion. It's like we've had enough of that. I mean, and that's why Donna is awesome, and Clara up to a point was good. Future, but yeah, we weren't sure where this was going, and we were just on for the ride of saying, okay, hopefully it gets good. Hopefully it gets good. I know, but I'm not going to say.
Okay.
So it's good that you feel like that you're invested to like this couple. I mean, and that's a good thing. It's the way I see it, because I know what's coming, or future of these two characters. You just want them to have a happy ending, but it's unfortunate that Amy is written in a way that is very standoffish for an audience member. I mean, there are some people who generally like this sort of dynamic of having the female being the one with the pants, and Rory's like the lovable kick dog at the end. So I don't know, if you enjoy that dynamic with a couple, then all for you. But there are some that's like, they need to get better. They need more than one trip to Venice to
fix it.
to tackle that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about them in the next when we discuss the next episode. But
Definitely.
but yeah, that's just how I'm feeling currently with this. But yeah, but to the fish race, which I need to look up their name, because my God, it just keeps, like, what are they called?
I can't remember myself.
Well, they're from a planet called Saturnine or whatever. So I think they're just Saturnines, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A place that's been
Um,
been eradicated from the cracks in space. So
Yes, the silence has taken it.
yeah,
Whatever.
continuation on the big bads of this season. Which one? Not saying. Could be two. Could be one.
Could be. Oh dear. Or Saturninians, who knows? Yeah, I kind of liked like the twist of, well, like you're just talking about them losing their planet, but I like the fact that they're not just there to, you know, feed these women to their 10,000 husbands in the water or whatever. Like they're not just there to, you know, take over the world. They're there because they don't have a world. They don't have a home. They've lost their home and they're trying to survive. So I kind of like that they put that kind of spin on it, that, you know, they're actually trying to save themselves, but obviously they're going about it a very wrong way. But I like that Leia adds some complexity to them, and they're just not, you know, one note villains. They actually have some kind of depth to them, and then the fact that then connects to like the overarching story of the season so far is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess, if you're building towards whatever the silence is. So.
And we've sort of seen this sort of scenario before with aliens coming in as like, we need a place for our own. And easiest place is humans because they're stupid and we can, you know, take advantage of them. So that's good for them. How do you feel the Doctor? Like we've seen so far, he doesn't like the fact that he wants to be known as the Great Storm or anything like that. That he himself wants to be associated with a mass, what's the word? Not distinction, extinction of a race. How did you feel about this? The Doctor being sort of pro extinction of a race.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense when you think about the trajectory of the character and everything that's happened leading up to this point. Like, I caught up with some friends the other night who are also Whovians, and I was telling them about it, and they're asking me my thoughts on Matt Smith, and one of the things that I said was, how I complained a little about how aggressive he was with Amy early in the season, and I didn't like that much, but they put it into perspective. They're like, well, yeah, but you know what he's still the same person that you watched as David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston before him. He has that history there, and even obviously going back and back. Yeah, he has this insane history. He's been through so much. He's seen so much. He's suffered so much. So it makes sense for him to be
very
where he's at the time. Yeah, complicated and complex and just, you know, filled with rage. You know, so it kind of makes sense.
Time war,
So when I see something like this where he's unwilling to try, like, because, you know, we've seen it before where he's been like, I can help you, we can take you to another planet, we can go somewhere else, we can do this, we can find a way. The fact that he's not even willing to do that really just kind of, I think, speaks to that point of like, well,
bit of a character flaw.
But like, also, like, I guess you've killed people in the pursuit of your own survival, and that's not okay. But then, like, by the same token, you know, letting an entire race go extinct because of that is also, it's a bit tricky. So yeah, he's definitely reaching a point now where he's willing to make those kinds of choices, because of, you know, how he's feeling and what he's been through, I guess. So yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, it's not great, obviously, because it's kind of bad that he's just willing to be like, yep, you can all die.
Just because you can't remember her name. What was her name again? The guy who helped them but didn't really do much except for save them, and his daughter who volunteered.
Isabella was the daughter.
Yeah.
And then
who was there to save Amy for one time, and then even those characters are sort of like, they didn't really do much except for a mass being a target, and so they didn't really do much.
Yeah, they're plot devices.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really
plot
like this episode, really, because there's no real high stakes and there's a lot of character flaws within Doctor Who. And I will say, bearing in mind this version of the Doctor does this story does come up again of him trying to help out again and again in future episodes. So yeah, it's don't like it. And not because it's got vampires in it, or not really vampires.
No. Yeah. Well, shall we move on to the next episode then?
Yep. At the end of that episode, everything goes quiet.
Yes. I liked that. That was very ominous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will be maybe or maybe not explained at the end of this series. Or maybe not at all. Yeah, have your choices.
Yes, well, it is Moffat. Anything's possible.
Well, it's always a problem of putting too many irons in the fire. That's why. That's why I have sort of a problem with the anniversary specials. It's like, stop setting up too much, because I'll forget. And it's annoying. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. No. Good point. Yeah. So things switch up with the next episode, Amy's Choice, where we have no mention of the silence or any cracks or anything. That doesn't get touched on this episode, which is fine. But we're kind of dealing with some more psychological stuff and more of Amy and Rory's relationship in this episode.
Head on.
Yeah, this is definitely a better episode than Vampires of Venice. And I really like how I love it when, like, you know, when movies and TV do a premise like this where you're experiencing the characters in different worlds, in different realities, and any of them could be real. And it's kind of like it's almost like a sort of a murder mystery, not a murder, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a mystery you're trying to figure out, you're trying to look for signs the whole time of which one could be real, which one could be false, you know.
Question box. Mystery box.
And I really, really enjoyed the fact that all of them, even the Doctor, were convinced that where they were was the real one. Each time they went back and forth, they're like, no, this is definitely the real one. Oh, this is definitely the real one. You know, I thought that was really cool. Like, they really dragged it out until the end of the episode to then reveal which one was real and which one wasn't, basically. You know, you figured it out along with the cast, with the characters. So I thought that was very clever. I really enjoyed Toby Jones as the quote-unquote Dream Lord. Does he count as a doctor then?
No, he's more.
No.
Spoiler alert for the ending, but he's more of akin to like an aspect of the Doctor. So not necessarily the Doctor, but sort of like if you've seen Red Dwarf, they do a lot of if you take an emotion out and that manifests into a physical being, it's sort of like that. Like, this is someone's envy, and it's like this conniving, you know, sort of a caricature of one aspect. So, and it's all the bitterness and everything that we sort of see in Doctor Who so far, of him being very, very angry. It's like, this is the sort of conniving of what the Doctor has in his psyche. So,
yeah, I kind of liked
episode.
that. Yeah, I liked that twist too. That it was kind of, maybe a way of the Doctor, like, subconsciously processing things.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really clever, and it's a very cool kind of sci-fi thing as well. Especially because the two realities that they were bouncing between were completely opposite.
Yeah.
Mostly because one was in a completely different time. Which is, I suppose for one, that's why my money was on that being the fake one, if I had to pick between the two. But then the whole thing about the star that's like ice was like, Well, actually, as someone who
It
knows about space stuff,
is all about astronomy.
yes. But I'm like, hey, it's Doctor Who. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so no, it was good. And then yeah, the Amy and Rory stuff was definitely. I was happier with the two of them as a thing by the time this episode was done. That's for sure. But nothing and no one can forgive that awful wig that Arthur Darvill had to wear in this episode.
Not even the fake baby bump.
The fake baby bump's fine. I can forgive it. It's you can't. They don't put a lot of effort in especially in TV in trying to make pregnancy look realistic. They just do the bump and don't worry about anything else. But that hair, man.
Sorry.
What was the choice?
Yeah.
Amy had no choice in that hair. God damn.
Well, it was his own thing. It was his own thing. And he gave it up for the woman he loved.
He did, and I thought that was
Stakes?
really. I like that it became a plot point at one stage. That was funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
but no. But anyway, that's my overall thoughts. What about you, Michael? What do you make of Amy's choice now?
Oh, the overall. Yeah.
Yes.
Out of all of the episodes, this is definitely one up there of dealing with more psychological protagonists of it being yourself as the bad guy, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of cool. Very Twilight Zone-ish episode, and yeah, and with the Amy and Rory sort of side of it, this is definitely getting there in their sort of relationship, and they're sort of rebuilding from something that's pretty much burnt to the ground. So it's sort of the ashes. It's not necessarily the phoenix coming out. It's sort of like a phoenix beak like coming up. It's like, what's going on here? Yeah, and with the symbol of cutting off a ponytail. This is the sort of thing that Moffat likes to do, like undercut like sort of sentimental things. I mean, there's a lot of like quick, not to make everything serious as what has come previous. A lot of things are sort of like got a lot of quips, and it's like, oh, this is sort of funny in this bit, and not to take things too seriously. It's like, I get it, but sometimes I need that sort of emotional connection of these characters actually dealing with something that's a bit more serious. I get it. It's Doctor Who. It's wacky. It's crazy. It's fun. But it's also got that sentimental stuff, and we haven't really dived into that yet. And it's very far in between, like those sentimental values. But dare I say, it gets there, sort of. It does, maybe. I don't know. I can't really remember. I'm glad I'm actually rewatching these, because there's a lot of stuff that I've forgotten, and a lot of stuff I've wrongly remembered. So it's a very interesting, and seeing yourself in a futuristic like part of your life is a good like experiment to have. Is like, are we happy? Are we going to be happy? And it's 5 years since we've had an adventure from the Doctor within the sort of narrative driven. It's like, that's kind of cool that we maybe get there. So something to aspire to, and that's the Rory and Amy relationship. I really enjoy the Dream Lord, because, not to spoil anything, but he doesn't come back again. I like the fact that it's a one and done like villain. I always enjoy them because it's more powerful of just having a one time thing. Yeah, I do enjoy like the Daleks coming back and the Cybermen coming back. I mean, that's a mainstay. But having something like that, like being within the fandom of having, it's like, oh, that was a good villain. And some people say, oh, should we get it back? It's like, no, because they will undercut this particular episode. I mean, maybe the Weeping Angels was probably better to just be a one and done Otherwise, Blink would be like up there in infamy of being one of the great like newer Who villains, instead of it coming back over and over and over. But future episodes, spoilers, sweetie.
Spoilers, yes. Well, so basically we're going back and forth between 5 years in the future, and Rory's a doctor, and Amy's pregnant with their first child, and and they're all, happy as Larry until they start realizing things are not what they seem.
Yeah,
And
Amy's
then,
pregnant.
you
Isn't
know,
that an interesting
Amy's-
thought?
Yep. Yeah, that's not. Anyway.
It's alright. I'm just putting a seed right here.
Putting a seed, are you?
I like this dynamic.
Basically the two worlds that they have to choose between are that, and where, it turns out that all of the old people where they live are aliens.
Aliens
who
living
are
among
just
us.
yes, who are just basically trying to kill everybody and turn them into dust.
Yeah.
So that's it's a little creepy, a little unsettling. It kind of gave me Hot Fuzz vibes for some reason.
The greater good.
The greater good.
Yeah, did you like that? Like that Halo thought it was bizarre, silly, stupid?
I mean, yeah, it was bizarre and silly, but I think that's, again, I'd say that's probably part of Doctor Who. Like, you can have shit like this happen. That's just the way that this world works, and so it worked for me. Like, it didn't, it was interesting. Because I said, I kind of figured that the world where Amy was pregnant was the fake one, but yeah, there were moments where it's like, okay, well, this feels, sort of very real, because they're very much part of this town. Rory's, very known as their doctor, and all of this stuff. They've made a life here, and then the fact that they all just, let's just go around killing people with this mist shit that comes out of us. No, it was fine. I just accepted it for what it was. Yeah.
Anything to make the kids scared of their grandparents.
Yeah.
We have to think about that aspect.
Yeah, I bet that worked. On some kids, like, oh, I don't want to go to my Granny and Grandpa's next weekend.
Is that
Not anymore.
Grandma, open your mouth.
Just gotta check.
Just gotta check something real quick.
Gonna check something real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, halitosis.
Yeah, so that was fine. And then of course in the other reality they're on the TARDIS still, and the TARDIS is not working, and they're slowly drifting towards an icy doom in the depths of space. And that was interesting, because I think I just liked that reality more, just because they're just on the TARDIS, so they're not interacting with anything else except for themselves. So it's a really good opportunity to have those important conversations that can, deepen your characters and advance the storyline and the relationships between, so that's where, Amy comes to a lot of her conclusions about how she feels. And so I really enjoyed, and just like the dilemma of like, okay, we're drifting towards an icy star and we're all going to freeze to death. I think the only other part about it that I was like, oh, that doesn't seem right, is the fact that, like, they were covered in ice by the end of it. And I'm just like, wouldn't you be dead then? If, like, you were just covered in ice? I don't know. Maybe I was just overthinking it. I shouldn't really be overthinking it. It's fiction.
Yeah.
It's the fi in the sci-fi.
Yeah,
so.
it's you can tell that the console room is very moist. There's a lot of moist in the air.
There's a lot of moisture going on. Yes. Yeah. Did you, Mike, when you were watching it, did you ever guess which one was the real one, or did you have a preference, or did something about either world that didn't work for you, or?
tell you the truth, I can't really remember which side I was thinking. I was probably like you. I was expecting like the ice thing, the the bottle episode side of this episode, not really being a bottle episode, was probably the real thing. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember, but I remember enjoying it. It's like, oh, this is pretty good, and it's sort of dealing with the psychological side as well as like the relationship side. It's like, this is a good episode. I enjoyed this episode. Can we have more of this episode, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really remember, to tell you the truth.
That's okay.
Mm.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, yeah. I mean, talking about psychological and relationship stuff, I think for me, the best moment in this episode, the best moments of this episode, came from Rory dying, turning into a pile of dust before Amy's eyes. I thought that was really, really great, especially like the performance from Karen Gillan, the way she reacted to it, and I really liked how that really helped her to see how much she actually loves Rory, and doesn't want to live without him.
Yeah.
It sucks that it took him dying for her to really realize that, because she should have already known that. But at least this was a way for her to understand and see that, without actually losing him.
Yeah.
And like that was another big call when I knew that this was not real. Was like, okay, well, if Rory's dead, then this is the fake one.
But is it?
But is it?
But, well, for real. It's like there hasn't been a real like companion death since the 80s, so it could have been like, is this a thing? Is this a thing now? Maybe we don't know what's going on. Maybe what they've been telling is true. I mean, it would be ballsy if they did something like this, but obviously not. There's no real deaths in Doctor Who. Maybe, I don't know. Is this fake out going to be a trend? Or maybe not.
But yeah, no, yeah, maybe not. No, I really liked that, and how that, propelled her to, then believe and trust in herself that this was the fake one, and she's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself because I'm going to wake up in the real world and I'm going to be with Rory again.
Bit of a huge gamble.
A huge gamble. I really admired her for making that choice, and the fact that she was like, if it's not, and if this is the real world, then I don't want to be here because Rory's not here.
I'm gonna raise this kid by myself.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that now, like by the end of this episode, that the two of them have now, fixed things. I mean, yes, I still agree with my previous statements of they didn't really address the whole cheating thing very adequately. But hey, they're back on track in terms of their love life, and hopefully they'll go back and actually get married now. I don't know if that's going to happen at some point. I'm sure maybe it will, but yeah. But no, it ended in a really nice place, but it was also a very dark episode, because it's like, oh shit, the Doctor can do this. Okay. That's a bit
not by his own choice.
No.
And it also delves into his psyche as well, which is always good.
Yeah.
Without actually explaining something.
Yeah, I thought that was very, very cool. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on Amy and Rory then? Their reconciliation, if you will.
Yeah. Well, the pointing to the right direction, sort of, with their relationship. Trying to remember the next bit. Next episode is a doozy. But that's for whenever we do it.
Yes.
I will say, with this sort of what happened between her and the doctor, you could, I don't know, palm it off that the doctor's not human, so she's had this crush on, not to be vulgar, but when women, now this is a man speaking, I understand that, but when a woman has a sort of affection for, why am I doing this? Why am I fucking doing this? Never mind. I was gonna say, isn't
I'm
it,
curious now.
I don't know. I'm just going off like sitcom tropes, and it's like this is the worst thing I can do. Say you have that special stuffed toy, and you have like an infatuation with it. I mean, it's like you practice kissing. I mean, I used to do it on a pillow, and that sort of shit. Maybe the doctor's a pillow.
Maybe the doctor is Amy's pillow.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to think. Is like, well, the doctor's out of the ordinary, and you've had this sort of relationship between what we've been talking about, like imaginary friends. Imagine if he was a bear and he's trying to kill you. Imagine he's not really real, but you're having this intense relationship that you have in your head, and you're not really thinking straight, and you've just come off like a near-death experience with a weeping angel where you have to, and I don't know what women think. I'm not Mel Gibson. I don't know what women want.
No, look, okay. The female perspective.
Hey.
I will.
Right, let the women speak. That's what I should have done a long time ago. I watched the Barbie movie. I didn't get it. That's fine.
That's okay. I don't think the Oscars got it either. Anyway. So, okay. From what you're saying, I can understand that because I would relate that to, when I find an actor that I really like or a musician that I really like, I will fixate on them and I will obsess and infatuate, and to the point where I'm having, not actually having a parasocial relationship because that's just a bit too much. But do you know what I mean? Like I get really invested in this person, and so you idolize them to a point where you're like, if you actually see them in real life, or they come, in the case of Amy, he comes back, and she's had this idea of him in her head since she was a kid, so she's, built up this whole thing in her mind about him, and he finally returns, and he's the same as he ever was, and now she's an adult, and she's gone through puberty, and she's gone through adolescence, and she's grown up into a woman, and she's discovering her sexuality, and yes, she's in a long-term relationship. Well, she's not at the point where the doctor comes back, but, she's in a relationship. Stable relationship with a good guy, and that we think. So I can understand a little bit of her wanting to get that out of her system, or to, find herself unable to control that urge, maybe. I mean, I would never, if I was to ever, meet Tom Hiddleston, randomly, not at a con or anything, but, somewhere out in public, I would never do anything like this with him. But I can understand why having an idolization of a certain person that's larger than life to you would make you do something like this. Yeah. I can understand that. I wouldn't do it, but I understand it. So, so it makes sense in that perspective. It's still wrong, though.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's forgivable or anything like that. And we have to remember it is a man writing this.
Yes, and that's another problem with this this show at this time. Is that they definitely needs more female writers. They got female directors. Like this episode's directed by a female, so that's great. We need more female writers.
Yeah, Doctor Who. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, what if the same scenario and Tom Hiddleston saves your life?
Oh.
The stakes.
No, I don't think I would. I'm too nice. That's my problem.
Yeah. Well,
I'm and yeah, like and also he's like basically married and he has a kid now, so I think that would if he was single, I probably would.
Yeah, we're talking 2017 Tom Hiddleston.
Do that, yeah. Thor Ragnarok, Tom Hiddleston. Yes, hello. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm perpetually single as well, so there'd be no wrongdoing.
One more.
And
I'm not private.
I was single then.
Stop being
No,
private.
I was single. I was single then. Yeah. No, yeah. I probably, yeah. If he was single, I probably would. But then, but not at like a con or like a fucking official event or anything. But if I ran into if he saved my life randomly.
Yeah, same
in the
scenario.
woods-
He saved your life and he's in your bedroom.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You're forgiven, Stephen Moffat. You wrote something incredible. What the fuck is this podcast? Yeah.
With a podcast that refuses to behave, Mike.
Yes.
Haven't you learned this by
Oh, behave.
now? Oh, behave. Anyway, that was fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
Next,
yes.
next
so,
episode.
Next episodes. What have we got
It's a
coming up? I think it's a two-parter, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and a very familiar writer.
Oh.
Oh, very
Great. I'm gonna sneaky peeky.
That's
Not at the plot, but just at who the writer is. Now that you've mentioned it, it's probably Mark Gatiss, I'm guessing.
Oh, no,
Am I right?
no.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
He's back. Chris Chibnall.
Back for
He's
the
already
first
written-
time.
Didn't he already write an episode that I didn't like? I swear he did.
Yeah, 42, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like that one
Something
much.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's back again.
Yes.
He's back again. But yes, back for the first time, as in this is the first time he returns. Yes, correct. I am with you now. Okay, Mr. Chibnall, let's see what you got with this one.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm more excited now. That's cool.
Cool.
But yeah, these episodes have pretty good okay, not pretty good rating. Okay ratings on IMDb.
Yeah, it's okay.
7.2 and 7.3. It's not amazing. Oh, and then we're up to Vincent and the Doctor. Yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
We're getting there.
These new episodes is the first. Should I spoil it? I don't know. It's not really a spoiler. It's the first time in New Who to bring back a classic villain.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, I look forward to it. Cool. Well, with that, that's Talking Who. That's Popcorn Culture.
Ooh.
Done
Hmm.
for another week. Hope you guys enjoyed our chat and my questionable fangirling. And yeah.
And
that
my
brings us-
questionable mansplaining of what
Yeah, you're.
women having their sexual awakens. A man's
fine.
perspective.
I forgive you.
I'm just Ken.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Cool. Well, that's the show. But before we go, we've got a quick little plug to do, because I suppose sort of one of the reasons why Folia wasn't on the episode as well this week was because she's starting a new podcast journey on a new show.
How dare she?
So we're going to plug that now. So Carpool Gaming is the name of the overarching thing, or the community, I believe, that runs this. And Folia is now one of the 4 co-hosts of their podcast, The PlayStation Drive. And you can head on over to youtube.com/Carpool Gaming to check them out, to follow and subscribe and like the videos and see what else they've got besides, podcast. And I watched the live stream of the podcast today. It went for just under 2 hours. It was a great time. I didn't know half the games they were talking about. But there's some chatter about The Last of Us and God of War, and Fulia brought out, Crash Bandicoot 2, which made me very happy. I was like, yes, let's go.
Naughty dog.
Yeah, so it was basically an episode where you got to know the new host, because her and a couple of the other hosts are brand new to the show. They've got a whole new lineup going forward now on this podcast. So it was a lovely Q&A episode, and there was some really funny banter between the 4 of them. So go support Fulia, go check her out over at Carpool Gaming with the PlayStation Drive. So
Yeah.
fantastic. Good on you, Fulia.
I'm so proud of her.
Oh, we're so proud. She's gone so far. It's great.
Spread your wings and make a dream.
Yes, please do. Okay. Well, with that out of the way, we've got nothing else to do except a 1, a 2, a 3, and that
was a
podcast
called Fred. Wrong one. No.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and